I would say like our year-over-year revenue lift has definitely been a standout. We outperformed last year by 36% and we remained really, really efficient. I think it's just made it really feel like you guys are an extension of our team rather than an outside agency.
Alyssa, thanks for joining me today. I really appreciate it.
Of course, I'm happy to be here.
So, can you just start off just by telling us a little bit about Brooklinen?
Yeah, happy to. Brooklinen in general is a premium bedding brand. We were founded in Brooklyn, New York in 2014. A primarily direct-to-consumer business. We have 8 physical retail locations as well across the US, but really our focus is on creating high quality, thoughtfully designed, premium home essentials at a really affordable price that won't break the bank, but also products that really feel elevated and fit into the way that you live.
I love it. No, I know Brooklinen is like an 8-figure business. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about, what's been your trajectory. Obviously, you do D2C. You also sell in retail. What's been your experience with Amazon?
Yeah. I've been with Brooklinen for going on 6 years now. I was brought on really to like grow and scale our Amazon business. I think we, like a lot of brands, were a little afraid of it in the beginning, right? Like you're always worried that it's gonna cannibalize your regular D2C business.
Totally.
But I think we've really found a way to like scale it on its own and give it its own life. So we started with a very, very small portion of our catalog in only a couple products on Amazon. And once we really start to saw like how that could grow, we kind of took it from there. So it's been slow and steady over the last 6 years, but we're really, really pleased with performance. And now it's one of our largest growth channels.
So, okay, out of curiosity, I know you say you basically were brought in to handle the Amazon side of the business and you've been there for 6 years. If you're in-house, why did you even decide to start working with Amazon Growth Lab? Like, why work with an outside agency?
Yeah, I think we've kind of covered the gamut in terms of agency, in-house, all of the things. When I came on to the team, we were working with a different agency, wasn't necessarily a great fit. After that, we actually brought our advertising in-house, thinking that nobody knows Brooklinen better than Brooklinen. And at the end of the day, we can only do so much, right? I think we were looking for extra hands, extra knowledge, just really someone who like lives and breathes the Amazon database day in and day out. We're no longer really a startup company, but we do still kind of operate like one. So transparently, bandwidth is a real thing. I think we were looking for somebody who could like really help take our Amazon business to that next level. So in our agency hunt, we kind of started that hunt really in the mindset of like, if we find somebody great, and if not, we'll continue kind of how we are now. And AGL just ended up being a great fit. So here we are.
So, what ended up being the difference between like when you were doing it in-house versus when you were working with AGL? What did you find the difference was?
I think AGL really unlocked just a lot of learnings that come with all of the tools and resources that you guys have. Obviously, we as a mainly D2C business, Amazon is very meaningful to us, but it's also a very, very small portion of our overall business. So
Totally.
we don't have all of the tools and resources that you guys do and or like the industry insights transparently that you guys do. So I think, when you guys gave us a demo of what we would learn, what we would gather from working with you guys, it was kind of a no-brainer.
Okay, so what I'm hearing from you is, from an audit perspective, you were super excited about the potential of, you know, things that were untapped.
Right.
What did it look like month 1, month 2, month 3? I know we've been working together for over a year now. What's been good? What's been bad? Maybe you can tell us a little bit about your experience.
Yeah, I think, again, we've been together for a little over a year now. I would say we really started seeing incremental improvements as early as like month 1 or 2. I mean, even from catalog optimization, you guys really like jumped in pretty immediately, tackling SEO updates, refreshing all of our A+ content. Um, that had transparently just been deprioritized due to bandwidth. And on the PPC side, same thing. I think it took probably like a month to fully overhaul our entire ad console, like relaunch all of our campaigns brand new. We really saw results transparently a lot faster than I think we thought we would.
So, what were you hoping for, and what do you feel like you ended up seeing?
I think we were really hoping for transparently a lift in revenue, an improvement in efficiency. I know those are very boring things to say, but I think that's kind of what everyone's looking for at the end of the day. Um, I think just the difference that we've seen has been really, really huge. In terms of like quantifiable numbers, I would say like our year-over-year revenue lift has definitely been a standout. We outperformed last year by 36% and we remained really, really efficient. We've maintained the same catalog year over year, and we really only increased our advertising spend like very minimally. And even despite that very minimal increase, we still saw a 19 to 20%, I want to say, improvement in our total ROAS, which is just a really, really meaningful win for our business.
And I know, at least I've heard from the team a handful of times, that there are many months where you guys basically have an advertising budget and we've gone in significantly under budget. And yet we've been able to, still surpass goals that you have internally from a revenue lift. Why do you think that's been possible? And also, how did that feel for you and your team?
I mean, it was huge. I think it's such a relief. I think when we were managing it in-house, when you're doing that in-house and you don't have all of those tools, it was just such a manual lift for our team. Things kind of like felt impossible. And, when we first started working together, I was in that mindset of like consistently checking the ad console to see where our month to date spend was. Like, are we tracking? Are we hitting our numbers? And every time I checked, we were beating our revenue goals and we were underspent. And it was just such a relief to know that like someone is on this, someone's looking at it, and someone's in there day in and day out, like covering it, whether we're in communication with them or not. I feel like AGL has been so great about kind of owning our business as if it was their own business rather than an agency, which has been just a huge weight off of our shoulders.
I love to hear that. I know that you said that you worked with another agency before. What has been, I think agencies get a bad rep oftentimes because, with every industry, there's the good, the bad, and the ugly. And I'm curious, what has been the difference between, your previous experience with an agency and working with us?
Yeah, I definitely think communication is a big piece. I think finding an agency is like finding a significant other, like in kind of a way, right? Like your goals have to be aligned. There's a lot of crossover there, but I will say it wasn't a lot of work to get you guys onboarded with like our internal goals. We operate our Amazon business very differently than a lot of brands do. And from the beginning, you guys have been so communicative and adaptable to the style that we're looking for in an agency. I mean, transparently, we needed a team that could like deliver biweekly status updates, keep us organized, proactively follow up. We are a very small team managing this Amazon business, like one or two people. So we need a lot of follow up. We need someone to like hound us down when we're not getting back to you. And you guys have consistently delivered on that. I think bandwidth is tight, but it's really never felt like our business was kind of left in the dark. You guys have been very proactive, open to feedback where necessary, and also like the ability to really take the reins where appropriate. I think it's just made it really feel like you guys are an extension of our team rather than an outside agency.
You've told me in the past that in board meetings, AGL has been brought up. And every time you tell me that, it gets me so stoked.
Yeah. No, I love it. Every time someone's like AGL, and I'm like, I love when they use your abbreviation like your friends?
That's so good. Yeah, Brooklyn and AGL is like unstoppable. They're,
Yes.
significant others in the dating scene right now.
Exactly.
Okay, so what are some of the quantifiable results that you've seen of working together?
Yeah. I think I'd shared the revenue lift and like the efficiency gains that we
Yeah,
saw. I would say that's definitely the biggest piece of it. I think the revenue piece, the efficiency piece is like our main KPIs in Amazon specifically.
makes sense.
So I'd kind of lean in there, just really, really, really pleased with year over year performance. And honestly, transparently, like the beats that we saw to like even our stretch goals. So
Say that again.
we're
The what?
the beats that we saw to our stretch goals, like our internal targets. Transparently, we have like an aggressive budget that we don't necessarily always share. And even beating that has been just huge.
I feel like every time we like beat an internal goal, your guys' team comes back saying, "Okay, well now let's make the goals a little bit more aggressive."
Yeah, I got to keep you on your toes.
100%, 100%. It's a good way to do it. So I know you said communication has been good. What does communication look like on a daily, weekly basis?
Every day is different, but I feel like we love the Slack channel, which has been so huge. We use Slack internally, but I do feel like sometimes when you're working with an agency who doesn't communicate in that same way, it feels foreign to send an email if you're not used to being a team that sends an email, or it feels foreign sending Slack if you're not a team that uses Slack. So
Totally.
having that touch point, I think, has made it so easy again to work with you guys like you are an extension of our team. I communicate with our account manager multiple times a day. every day. They are super, super organized in the sense of communication. So they utilize our tools, files that we use, lists and trackers that we use. Like they've really kind of just like dove right into all of our existing processes, which has made it really seamless. But again, just the proactiveness of the communication from AGL, I would say, has been such a win. I don't ever feel like I have to hound them down for something. If anything, they're finding me, which is great.
It makes me very happy to hear that it's been proactive. I also know that me and Athen came to New York not that long ago, and had the privilege of getting lunch with you at one point. And I
Yeah.
love seeing how you and Athen were like best friends,
Best friends. Best
BFF.
friend. I love him. And, every time like things shift and change, right? That comes with a business. But I'm like, don't ever take him away from me.
Yeah, the moment Athen's gone, it's like the whole no one's gonna want to work with us anymore.
No. No, he's the best. Honestly, the entire team's the best. The account managers, our PPC people, there, everyone has been so great. Like I have nothing but good things to say about everyone we've worked with on your team.
Thanks, Alyssa. Okay, final question. What would you say to someone else who's thinking about whether or not they should work with AGL?
I would say do it sooner rather than later. I think a lot of people are hesitant to onboard an agency, or to your earlier point, like they get a bad rap. I wish that we had onboarded you guys sooner. I just think of like what we could have done earlier in the year prior that we were debating going back and forth between onboarding and not onboarding. I think there are so many benefits that come with an agency from a bandwidth perspective, from a tools and resource perspective, even from just like an insights perspective. When if we are having a bad week of performance, it's so nice to be able to tap you guys and be like, are you seeing this with other brands? Like, is this common or is this specific to us? My one piece of advice would be to just do it. Honestly, I don't think anyone would regret it.
Thank you so much for hopping on. I really appreciate it, Alyssa.
Of course, anytime.